Why do I emphasize community? For all of us right now in the United States, we see signs, right? We know something's going down, but you got your people who understand it and they're acting, or in other words, getting proactive. Then there are your people who are reactive that are going to wait to the last minute, and right now they're sitting on the sidelines convincing themselves that this isn't as bad as people are saying it is. Though I would argue that it is as bad as people are saying it is. Before I get into my video, I'd like to give 3 shout outs. The first one is a new YouTube channel, Stash Cash. I've just watched one of his videos so far. He came to my channel after a recommendation from Nikki P. I like the name of his channel and what he's talking about simply because I watched a video on community, and at this point in my life, people who want to build or who are doing a little bit of something that enhances a digital community and a local community, those are the people I choose to be aligned with. Of course, Stash Cash is new, and I don't think he knows that yet unless he's watched a few of my videos. But I just prefer to be around people that are emphasizing community right now, whether it's online and digital throughout the country or the world, or whether it's your local community where you get out and engage. So go check his channel out. Second channel is the Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. Remember, he's not giving you financial advice, but he's knowledgeable of stocks and bonds and the stock market and the stuff going on right now where people are worried about their 401ks. He can lead you in the right direction. Also, he is a trucker, and that's going to play a huge role in what I'm about to discuss in this video. So I want you all to be mindful of that, okay? So we are about to discuss that and get into the meat and potatoes of it all. Last is certainly not least, speaking of meat and potatoes, growing your own, that would be Hook It Up Homestead. And for the foreseeable future, when I don't have serious topics, her channel will constantly show up as a shout out. Simply because it's not enough to just go to a grocery store and buy apples and Swiss chard and kale and even your meat. I went on 22nd of March 2025 to Terra Nova Gardens out here where I live in my county, and they're trying to be as self-sustaining as possible, and that reminded me all day of Hook It Up Homestead, because that's where I took my soap making class. Some things that you consume and put in your body, you can't just wait on farmers markets or grocery stores or food banks. You're going to have to grow it to the best of your ability on your own. It's common. There's no getting around this. There's no dancing and tiptoeing around it. You're going to have to grow it on your own. And I decided to give her a shout out last because it fits into what I've been saying about what's going on. And we're going to get into what I wanted, why I made this video in the first place. Pardon me for stumbling on my words. Let's get to our regularly scheduled program. Photos are going to start showing up. I did not clip the articles. All of us right now, looking at what's going on, at some point caught on to signs, and we understand that at some point we sat back and said, something's going on in the United States, or a lot of something. And it's not that we don't see the geopolitics, it's just that we understand within this country that something is going down. And see, the thing is, when stuff gets bad, it don't start off as big and catastrophic as we all make it. It starts in little bitty signs that aggravate us, that grow into big things over time. There are two signs that I saw coming a long time ago that indicated to me it was time for an introvert like me to start building communities and start letting my presence be known. And here are the two things, and I know y'all are gonna laugh. The price of a Big Mac meal was number one. And when yellow trucking went under, that's the second thing. Let me start with the Big Mac meal. I was on YouTube, and mind you, I don't go to McDonald's that often anymore. I haven't since 2012 because I ate something from there and I upchucked, and for a while the smell of McDonald's made me sick. I just started back eating it, but most of the time I get the Sunday smoothies and fries. I tried that chicken Big Mac and that didn't go so well. We ain't gonna get into that because I know Nikki P liked it. Me, that was just some compressed chicken nuggets. But look, let me get to what I'm saying and quit playing around. The Big Mac is one of the ultimate American inventions of the 20th century, right? It's inconceivable that you were never going to get that meal for a value. But by the time the 21st century rolled around, that burger didn't taste as it did when it first came out in the 20th century. The one thing was certain in a downturn economy, even 2008, that a Big Mac, fries, and Coke was still going to be, even with the rising cost, a reasonable meal to get when you're on the go. Not that I'm encouraging y'all to eat it, because this was my favorite burger for a long time. Now I'm just going to learn how to make it at home and make it healthier with actual beef that I get from farmers around here. So I'm on YouTube and we're talking about, and I was reading up on something else, and something came in my feed, something about some people in the United States are paying $16 for a Big Mac, fries, and Coke. Now I thought that was a lie and I was getting mad until I clicked on a little short video and a little YouTube short, and it was true. I remember making a prediction to someone that there's going to come a time when the United States is going to be more expensive to live in than Switzerland. Right? So then I had said that a Big Mac, fries, and Coke cost about $16 now in the state of Washington, because I found that out as well, and I was shocked. Kid you not, a young guy from Switzerland jumped in on that, because of course we're all global now, and said, oh, give or take, we only pay 14, 15 equivalent American dollars for that in Switzerland. I hope you're catching what I just said. Never in our history, going back, was a Big Mac, fries, and Coke more expensive in the United States in some places than in Switzerland. That's the first thing you missed, if you weren't paying close attention to what I just said. The second thing, the undertone, is that the meat you get on that Big Mac in Switzerland is nothing like the meat you get in the United States. So now, though Switzerland has always been expensive, translated in American dollars, they are getting this cheaper and getting better quality meat. What I'm saying is your certainty to just go grab and go is starting to fade. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is not a knock to McDonald's or any other fast food chain, because I eat out some but need to stop doing it, but I'm increasingly eating at local restaurants, okay, when I eat out. I think other than your local restaurants and your local eateries, I think this is a good thing. Some pastimes are meant to fade, and some things are meant to diversify into something better or just go away. And transportation issues aren't making this easy. So let's segue into my second thing, yellow trucking. When I grew up, it was a certainty that yellow trucking was a good company. That you could go work, go drive, get your pension. It wasn't until like I would say 2023, 2024 when I saw that video of the workers getting emotional as they were finally told that the company went under and they weren't getting a pension. These are men that took sometimes decades away from their family to learn that they were going to get nothing out of it. That video made me sick to my stomach. But it reaffirmed to me what I've always known. When people get in your face, you're valuable to us, you're wonderful, we're thankful for your work, it's rhetoric. You see, the World Wide Web is a lottery because it allows us to build community now. See, the trucking is even more important than McDonald's, and it's a tied to burgers and things, is because food moves through refrigerated long haul trucks. Mr. Burns knows this firsthand, and yet these truckers get nothing but stereotypes and disrespect everywhere they go. So now some of your senior truckers are saying screw it. Some are becoming YouTube content creators. And some trucking companies are having difficulty recruiting, because why would you go get disrespected by people, have to maintenance a truck, and be talked down to any kind of way? Then now you go to these cities, and I'm seeing it around here too, which is pathetic. A bank that I visit, there was a nice little spot off to the side where truckers could go back then and sleep, and no one cared about it. Then out of the blue, they suddenly want to build a storage space in that random spot. And I can assure you that people that live in the nice apartments next to it were probably not happy that a storage space was just randomly put there. I can remember truckers parking there and getting rest and thinking, oh, that's a nice spot. And all of a sudden now they wanted to do that. And then they're magically doing this somewhere else. The hypocrisy of needing truckers, but then making it difficult for them to find places to rest. And the audacity for you to deep down think that this food just delivers itself and that someone isn't doing it for you. People's entitlement is mind-boggling to me. Because see, when those trucks stop moving, if you are accustomed to convenience and you haven't built something, you're gonna get desperate and either start robbing or taking from other people. This is why I built community, because there's gonna come a time when those trucks are gonna be rare. And when yellow trucking went under, I said, okay, we're here now. Everybody's like, it's not a big deal. There are still trucking companies, la, la, la. I said, you're still missing the symbology of it. A scared young person who may have wanted to be a trucker will look at that and say, why would I sit there and take that risk when I can go create content? In all honesty, when I looked at yellow trucking and I looked at McDonald's, I said the fact that these institutions that we thought were safe and guarantees are starting to make moves we've never seen speaks volumes. And I'm not saying the trucking industry didn't always suffer trying to find truckers. It's just back then, when there was no World Wide Web, when there was no trucking companies talking about putting cameras in your trucks and following you 24/7, this stuff was a certainty. Now you want people to pay a higher price for a low budget, like processed food. And you want someone to go deliver your stuff and be able to talk down to them any kind of way because you see them as insignificant because all they do is sit in a truck. A trucker's typical diet is bad. They're away from their family and from the activities they love. Even if they buy toys like four-wheelers, or say campers, or say bikes, or they spend time with their family, there is still an isolation and a loneliness to that. Being on the road constantly, and you want these people to do that while you talk down to them like they're trash, while you don't allow them to find places to rest and sleep like they're robots. Yellow trucking should have been an indication for you all that the trucks are about to lessen. And given the stuff with the tariffs, if you're like me, being in Washington State, living on the border of any country, particularly Canada right now, while you shouldn't be paranoid, this should concern you. These two things, McDonald's and yellow trucking, is how I knew it was time for me to get out and start building community. Because American institutions that seem safe, that seem stable, understandably they go through changes. But for that trucking company to go under, and for you now to be paying nearly $20 for a burger that we can debate if it's got real meat in it. See, I need y'all to see this as a cautionary tale, because a lot of you are starting to see things now. And if you're proactive and you're building community like Stash Cash says, congratulations. You're smart enough to know now that you as a person are evolving into a brand. If you're reactive and you're sitting back, your ego, it don't apply to me, or you're waiting for someone to give you something, I can promise you this new society that will emerge 2030 gonna be difficult for you. Moral of the story, build community, because what seems like it's guaranteed isn't. But you can guarantee when you've built the right relationships that they're going to provide you reciprocity. Y'all have a great day.